Alright, we got some big news to talk about today, but before we get into that, we have 15 seconds to kill, so please follow me on TikTok, premydaremy1 for the Sonic content. We got the memes, we got everything. It's popping off, okay? And for the non-Sonic content, we got Premulous2. I know the names are confusing, bear with me. Alright, we got some big shit we need to talk about right now because shit is going crazy right now. Tweetimoto, he's been going mad at the Twitter fingers, and he's just giving us everything, right? You know, Sega, they like to be mums the word, like, make you feel the silence when there's no announcement. Tweetimoto is just going ham. I know I expressed some doubt before that he wasn't a legitimate account, and because he was saying certain things that you feel like an official wouldn't say for fear of, you know, revealing too much information. But apparently people in my comment section of that video were saying, Tweetimoto has got legit people following him, so he must be legitimate, right? And I checked his follow list. Otani is following him, and he's verified. Sonic official JP are following him, and they're verified. Like, the official Japanese Sonic's following. Roger Craig Smith is following him. So unless they're all being fooled, my assumption is that it really is Daddy Quiche. Okay, what can I say? Like, it's Kishimoto. When we get into these tweets, you'll see why I'm starting to believe that it's a bit fugazi. But if it's legit, it's legit. Okay, I want it to be legit because he's saying the right things. So we're getting to all this right now. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel already. Please make sure to subscribe. We are trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. So we're gonna start off with the games situation, and then we'll get into the Frontiers DLC situation. We separated it by tweets. We got a ton of tweets. Tweetimo been going ham. So, that's just his profile page. So, in the previous video, we talked about how we're getting a bigger budget for upcoming Sonic games because, you know, Frontiers did well and whatnot. So, you can see his cyber is like screenshotted that post from Tails' channel talking about it. And then Kishimoto responds, thinking that, oh, well, of course he's going to respond, right? Because he responds to everything. And then he says, just heard this news for the first time. Really? There are lots of directors making Sonic, so I don't know which team they're talking about. But if my team gets lucky, we'll be able to compete at a higher level. So they announced from a Q&A investors meeting that they were going to raise the budget for Sonic projects, and Kishimoto knows nothing about it, apparently, because there's a lot of directors making Sonic, and he has no idea which team they're talking. He's just confirmed that there's multiple teams working on Sonic shit, which should be expected at this point, because, I mean, Sonic Origins was handled internally by Sega, right? So you got people who are doing Origins, and most likely are working on Origins Plus. You got people working on the Frontiers DLC, which involves Daddy Quiche. And then you've got people working on the next main Sonic game, which we already know is being worked on, even if it's in the early stages. Because Izuku already said in that interview before Frontiers came out, he already knew what the next game was going to be. So you've got, that's at least 3 teams. Then we talk about the modern 2D game that's been heavily rumored, and people on the inside are saying it's happening, but no one's confirmed it. Which, of course, Kishimoto is still slightly confirming that himself anyway, because they ask him here, hello, Daddy Quiche. I'm really sorry if I'm bugging you at all, but I need to get this off my chest. Could we possibly see the next Dimps 2D Sonic game being released somewhere around early 2024 to mid 2024? Once again, sorry if I'm bothering you at all. Daddy Quiche responds, and he says, hello, there are 3D and 2D games in the Sonic game lineup, but I'm not involved in 2D games. I'm sorry. He said he's not involved in 2D games, so like cyberspace, forces, like colors. Okay, you're not involved. Okay, technicality, cool. I'm not involved in 2D games, so I'm sorry, I don't know why. He's basically just giving us the dish. There's 3D and 2D games in the lineup. I'm not involved in the 2D game, but it's there. He doesn't know what happened, but he's confirming. Multiple directors working on Sonic, doesn't know which team they're talking about. If my team gets lucky, then he's mentioning 3D and 2D games in the lineup. I'm not involved. He's basically saying the shit is happening, right? We are getting multiple releases. Now, we don't know the dates or what exactly the things are. Again, we know DLC is one. We know Origins Plus because that was leaked in Korea. We know that there's going to be another game after Frontiers. There's the obvious 3. But clearly there's more. Because the way Kishimoto is talking, again, if he's really Kishimoto, he hasn't got verified yet, but officials are following him. Otani follow, like, if it's really him, he's spilling the tea right now, okay? So, again, back onto Frontiers. We've got Frontiers DLC to talk about, because people are asking questions, and he's giving some info, okay? He's giving some info, so they ask him here, Daddy Quiche, thank you for your work on Frontiers. I would like to see more animations after the homing attack like in the previous game. Any chance of reviving this idea in the next Sonic game? Kishimoto responds, thank you for your feedback, thank you for translating to Japanese. We will consider adding an animation after the homing attack. I really don't know if he means that when he says that, thanks for the feedback, thanks for translating, we'll consider, or if he's just being nice. But again, you could just ignore the tweet if you're not going to actually do anything. But I guess he's taken it into consideration, right? So I guess I thought I'd bring that up because I never really liked how the homing attack just comes out and there's no animation. Like, what happened to the smooth animations we used to have before? I mean, they were never perfect. But like in Heroes, like you call him an attack and he's got these nice little animations. Even Generations had some, like Unleash had some. You know, I don't know. But anyway, next set of tweets. Alright, they ask him here. Hello Daddy Quiche, do you have plans to add the ability to fight Titans at any time in a future update? Greetings and sorry I use a translator. Daddy Quiche responds. Thank you for your letter. Thank you again for translating it into Japanese. A rematch with Titan has been requested by many people, so we are considering it. Please look forward to future updates. So at least he knows that people want to be able to replay bosses, which if you've been playing video games since like ever, you should know that that would be a desire to be able to replay elements of the game. I don't know why video games do that shit where you can't replay parts. Like Assassin's Creed 2 did that shit. It was fucking annoying. In Brotherhood they fixed it so you could like go into the DNA and replay sequences. But AC2, once you beat the story, you can't replay shit unless you start a new file. It's dumb. But nonetheless, I'm assuming at some point they're gonna add it, because if they're saying he's claiming that multiple people have said it, is at some point they're gonna have to do it whenever they get time or whatever. But we got another set of tweets here. This is an interesting one. This is regarding the DLC again. It says here, I'm so excited, and I just can't I'm sorry, about the additional characters in the third update of Sonic Frontiers. Obviously showing the DLC image of the Tails and the Knuckles and the Amy and all that, and the Sage and whatnot for the third update for Frontiers DLC. And it says, I used to enjoy playing Sonic Heroes when I was little, but if you ask me, does each character's skill have the same great energy as the greatest game ever created? He also says, sorry if this translates, okay, whatever. Kishimoto responds, thank you for your letter. Thank you again for translating into Japanese. Of course I love the greatest game ever created. Additional character skills, sorry, are still a secret. Please look forward to it. Which insinuates that he's basically confirming that there are going to be additional character skills, right? Because if it was just going to play like Sonic, him even responding and saying it's still a secret would be kind of lame just for the DLC to be announced, and then Tails and Knuckles and Amy or Sage or whatever just play exactly like Sonic. It's like, that's kind of mid, right? So for him to say additional skills are a secret, that he's actively withholding it, is heavily suggesting that they'll actually have unique abilities. We would expect something like Flight for Tails, maybe like, we can't really say Climbing for Knuckles because Sonic can already do that in Frontiers. Maybe Digging, maybe what the Drill Wisp used to do, and what Knuckles did before the Drill Wisp existed, and Drill Wisp stole that ability from Knuckles anyway. But that would be interesting to see Knuckles like dig. Like, even Knuckles had a digging mission in Generations, right? Remember that? So it'd be interesting to see something like that. And of course, Amy with the Pico Pico hammer, that would be cool. Like, if Amy's combat was like some crazy hammer related shit, like, you know, that should be insane. So I hope it's something like that. But this leads me to believe that they're not just going to do a quick model swap as if it's just a quick Game Banana mod of like, this is playing as Tails, but it just plays like Sonic or something. I'm hoping we do more. Now, here's the tweet that really makes me suggest that that maybe this account's not legit. But again, legit people are following him. So unless they're also being fooled, maybe it is legit Kishimoto. But he needs to get verified, like, because they ask him, hello Kishimoto, have you had time to finish Sparkly Electric Jester 3? There are a lot of ideas for combat and level design in that game that I'd love to see in the next 3D Sonic game, like a heavy attack button and more open levels. Kishimoto responds, yes, it was very helpful. I was able to analyze the game design philosophy, so I'll try it out in the update as soon as possible if I can incorporate it without waiting for the next game. So, for those of you who don't know that, I mean, I need to provide some context. Sparkly Electric Jester 3 is created by Lake Feppard. He's someone that worked on Sonic before and after the sequel, which are 2D style like classic Sonic games. Sparkly Electric Jester 2 and 3 are 3D style Sonic games, heavily inspired by the adventure era of Sonic. So, good, basically. To put it bluntly, Sparkly Electric Jester 3 is the greatest indie game ever made. And I know that's an opinion, but it really is. Okay, like, as a Sonic fan who grew up in the adventure era, like, it really is that it goes that hard. But it also incorporates a bit more combat than regular Sonic gameplay tends to do. So the video that this person linked is a more combat focused video. Some people don't like the combat as much, but for me personally, I'd say the main level design and platforming is the highlight more so than the combat. Not to say I don't enjoy the combat. I'm just saying, like, this game is flames. From a platforming, level design standpoint, it's just got the momentum, it's got the physics. Like, I'm playing some videos of the gameplay, but I actually cover this game on Premy. If you want to see me stream the whole game, it's on my non-Sonic channel. Link in the description. It's here in one of my live streams, but you can check it out. But the point is, this game is fire, right? And it's an indie game. It's not that well known. Like, some people know about it, of course, but it's not like a mainstream thing. So for Kishimoto to have not only played it, but he's admitting that he's played it and he's studying it, that'd be like Drake admitting that he like studies lesser known artists to, you know, further his own sound. You know, like, that doesn't happen. They don't like to admit that unless they're friends with that artist and they, you know, have them as features or whatever. So it's just a bit weird that Kishimoto would say something like that. Like, I don't know. Like, Izuku didn't even want to admit that they bit from Breath of the Wild. So this is just a bit interesting to me that he would say that again. Maybe he's just being nice and lying to this guy. Like, this guy's like, have you had time to finish Spark 3? And he's like, ugh. Yeah, I've done it. I've played it. Thank you for translating to Japanese. We'll take that into consideration. And then nothing happens, right? I don't know. If it's really Kishimoto, you could be lying. You could have actually played it and be like, this is amazing. Take notes and incorporate this into Frontiers. I mean, you got a lot of notes to take if you want to incorporate this into Frontiers, because for those of you who are probably wondering the question, since I just praised this game so much, yes, I do like this game more than Frontiers. That should be evident at this point. But I'm just saying, like, if he's actually played it and he's actually going to try and incorporate that into Frontiers update, I mean, I'd love to see it. We love to see it, okay? But I don't know. It's a bit suspicious of a tweet. I don't know. If it's really Kishimoto, it's really Kishimoto. Nonetheless, that is what we can expect for the DLC, or at least some idea of what we can expect for this 2023 DLC. We don't actually know for sure if there's going to be more DLC after that, or at least more free DLC, because I know they mentioned free and paid DLC at some point. We know everything coming out in 2023 DLC-wise is free, but we'll have to see what happens after that and how far they want to support Frontiers before revealing the next one. But let me know what you guys think about all this stuff regarding the DLC and what you think about the stuff regarding another 2D game or the multiple teams that Kishimoto supposedly talked about. And of course, a big shout out to all the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, you can click the join button next to the subscribe button. But yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. Make sure to check out the non-Sonic channel. The link will be in the description. But that's all I have to say right now. So, Premy out.